Friday. Welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse where we go live every Wednesday and every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live in Facebook and we go live on YouTube. Welcome to your inspiration, motivation, and education station. Hello, ladies. How y'all doing?
I'm
Hello.
good.
How are y'all?
Good.
Act like it's
Marvelous.
Friday. Come on now.
It's
Doing,
Friday. The
doing,
weekend is here. Networking events this weekend. Open houses this weekend.
you
Yes,
busy.
it's Friday. You can tell who's been on vacation, who hasn't been on vacation. But anyway, welcome. You guys, it's Friday the 13th. So today we are discussing all of the things that could go wrong in a real estate transaction. We always talk about how to get there and what to do and how to do it and all this other stuff. But we are going to talk about all of the things that could go wrong in a real estate transaction. But ladies, before we get started, do you want to bless the audience by telling them who you are? For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I am a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty. Samantha.
I'm Samantha Harding, and I'm a loan officer here in the state of North Carolina.
Awesome. Takia.
Hey, everybody. I am Takia Ward, your Maryland, D.C. realtor.
Awesome. Welcome. Everybody come on in, have a seat, sit down on the couch. Again, today we are discussing all of the things that could go wrong in a real estate transaction. So, the first thing that I have on the list is because I'm going to start from the top and work our way down. So, you could go see a house, you could find a house, you could like the house, you could love the house, you could just fall in love with the house. And then you want to make an offer on the house. And guess what? You are not pre-approved. You can't get pre-approved. You can't get the money that you want because your credit score is too low and your debt to income ratio is too high. So you guys, a lot of people don't understand when they call us and they want to go buy a home or they're sending us homes and they want to see them and we don't go out to we don't show them a house unless they are pre-approved. Do you guys want to explain why that is?
So we don't show the houses unless you're pre-approved because we don't know what your buying power is. And now you're out there looking at houses and what you think you can afford. And then when you get your pre-approval, find out that you can't. Now your hopes and dreams of what you want has now been taken away, because now when
Yes.
you have to start looking for something that may be in your price range, it's not comparing to what you have seen before. So we like to make sure that your expectations are right.
And I know back in the day we would go show a house. Sometimes we may show one house or whatever, but with COVID, some owners don't want you in their house wasting their time on their furniture, spreading your germs and all of that stuff. They want they want to make sure that you have a pre-approval letter before going inside their property.
I was going to
Yes.
say that what happens if you do like the house and when it's time to put in an offer? I've seen that most offers need to come with a pre-approval letter. So what are you going to do when you put in an offer and don't have money?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's your money, honey. So don't go out and waste your time. And gas is too high. My sister sent me a text message this morning, showed me gas at $5 a gallon. I said, what in the world? So yeah, gas is too high to be wasting your gas out here looking at houses for nothing. All right. The next thing is, okay, cool, great, awesome. You are pre-approved. You're pre-approved. You found a house that you like, but the taxes and the HOAs are too high and the lender can no longer approve you for that property. Have you guys seen that happen a lot?
Yes. I do
Yeah.
tell people who are purchasing a home, contact your lender prior, because if you find a house that is $100,000 with, estimated taxes and fees, what happens if you are in a flood zone? That house, the $100,000 house might actually turn into a debt to income ratio house. So that's 120. That's comparable. So you may not be within your ratios. And that's a damper on your day. unfortunately.
Definitely. And what's some advice you can give to the buyers to avoid that?
I always have a conversation with the people who are buying from me and let them know I estimated I actually am local, so I check in to see what the taxes is for the area, what's the going rate, so you have a more of a expectation of what to look for. So if it's outside of that, then we can rerun the numbers before you put in the offer, so you'll know exactly where you stand. But that's the difference between local lenders and national lenders. So
Exactly. And that's why you don't want to shop at the amount, at your pre-approval amount as well. And like you said, always get the lender to verify that this house right here qualifies. You are pre-approved for this property before you put in an offer on that property. Can
correct.
you got any feedback before we move on to the next one?
Nope. I just want to say that that is absolutely correct. I haven't had, I don't really have that issue too much with the taxes and everything. But sometimes if my lender has told me, where we are with this particular buyer, then
Mhm.
I do run it by, like, hey, we're looking at this. Can you check this and make sure that this is still going to work?
Definitely, definitely. All right, you guys. Someone just came into the studio. Let's see. I don't recognize this person.
Nicole,
Hey, how you
hi
doing, lady?
Nikki. I almost don't recognize that stranger
I
over
don't
there.
recognize this person. Could you introduce yourself to everybody out there in the clubhouse world, ma'am?
She's so funny. Are you being funny? You being real?
You got a tan and everything. Who
I
this
do.
like?
My skin's peeling like so gross.
It's okay.
How you doing, Nikki?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good,
Good, good,
good.
good. All right, for those of you guys coming in like Nikki, is Friday the 13th. We are talking about all of the things that could go wrong during your real estate transaction. All right, so the next thing I have on the list is putting in your highest and your best offer and you lose the home. Now, that's normal in this market. It happens, it's very competitive. You may get outbidded in this market. So that's normal. And on that right there, you did your highest and your best, and that's all you can do. But this leads to the next one. So imagine putting in an offer on a home, the offer gets accepted, but you don't have your due diligence money. Ladies, y'all got any feedback on how to avoid this situation? No? Okay.
Well, I do. That's a conversation you should be having with your real estate agent before purchasing the home.
Mhm.
Okay. Sometimes things do happen. We pre-qualify people based on the information you give us. And sometimes if you do underwriting, we would see the money in your account. But if you don't have it, you cannot provide it. And therefore you really can't put in an offer or it really be in the range to even purchase a home if you don't have at least that part.
One exactly. And that's what we say, your highest and your best. You only have what you have, but don't go out there and sell your soul to the devil. And then you don't have it. You don't have your due diligence, which is due at the time of your offer. So you put the offer in, it's due. You need that money there within 24 hours. Your earnest money is different because you have 5 days. But stop selling your soul to the devil. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But this is where everything comes in when we say save, 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 save. That is the very first step of the home buying process, is to save, because you could be working on your credit, you could be doing all of that stuff, but once you get pre-approved, you're definitely gonna have to have some funds in this fight out here in this current market.
Yes, even with 100% financing people, that does not include due diligence. Just to FYI, 100% financing does not mean you just walk in there with no money for due diligence. That's not what that means for the world to know.
Definitely, definitely. And so the next thing is the inspections. The inspections, you are under contract, you've done all of your hard work, and your inspections, they come back a little weird. So let's talk about weird. We're not talking about a leaky faucet. We're not talking about the broken mechanical seals in your windows. We're not talking about those things. What are some weird things you guys have seen on an inspection?
I've seen roofing issues,
Mm-hmm.
chimney issues.
Yes.
I've seen a little bit of slight little structural stuff, like, hey, and then they're like, hey, you may want to get a engineer to look at this. Um, And then I've seen where the wiring for us, the wiring for the electrical is not up to date, needs some they're using the wrong cords or something, wrong wires.
Yes, I
So
got
they need to be updated. And I've seen issues in plumbing with us using polybutylene pipes. So,
definitely. And just because it comes back weird, it doesn't mean that you guys have to back out of your contract. And like Takia said earlier, this is where you should call a professional to come out and take a look at it. Like they may find something wrong with your foundation. That doesn't mean you need to run automatically because a lot of the times, if the engineer comes out or whoever comes out, the structural engineer, they look at it, they'll say, well, well, it's not an issue unless you have a crack about this size, or
hmm
it may not be what it seems. So don't let that inspection scare you. But when we're talking about some property issues that could come, I have a letter that I give my buyer clients and my seller clients. It's like a hundred things that could possibly happen. We call them turbulence during the real estate transaction. And on that list is a things that could happen with the buyer, the borrower, the realtor, the property, the title company. It's all kinds of the appraisers, all kinds of things that could happen. But some things that could happen with the property, you know what? I'll save that for last. I'll save it for last. But it's a few things. I think I have about one, two, three, six, nine things on there that could possibly happen with the property. All right. Samantha,
Yes,
what's
ma'am.
another thing that could possibly happen on the property? I mean, with the property.
Well, I've had recently, they cannot find any, darn it, the word just, comparable properties. So I had to do a Tidewater, which took a little bit of time, but they couldn't find the actual appraised value. They could not appraise it because they couldn't find value in that particular house.
So the
And it was,
property didn't appraise. Is that what you're saying?
well, it didn't end up appraising. Right. They took a little longer because they had to make sure they find comparables. And, if you live in an isolated area, I don't think that's the issue for you guys, but some of these places are isolated where they can't find comparables and they have to go wait and they have chip paint.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a good thing though. I like when we have to do top water because, like I said, it's in our hands. But for the people who don't have that situation, when an appraisal doesn't come back, I mean the property comes in below appraisal value.
Right.
yep.
Um, that's a big issue. That's a big issue. So when it doesn't come in at appraisal value, what are some things that we could do um in this situation?
Negotiate. That's what you guys can do. Negotiate.
We could. So let's say, so that's one thing. So we could see if the seller will reduce the price. But what if the seller says no, it's a bad appraisal? What's next?
You better have some extra money in your pocket.
Nick, your camera out. I didn't even know you were there. You said some extra money?
Hold on one quick second. Let me plug my charger in.
Exactly.
Yeah, have some extra money to cover that difference, or you can
Yeah.
back out.
Samantha, your camera's out now. What
I
is
was
it
telling you
contagious
guys
or
to get
something?
my charger.
She's charging her phone.
My battery went dead, you guys. It's going dead. And
Lord have
I'm
mercy.
only dressed from the top half down, so I can't reach over.
Lord have mercy. Anyway, all right. So what y'all just say? I'm sorry.
Money. You gotta have extra money if you really want that house.
Definitely. So you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. All right. So let's say if you don't have enough money, what's another thing that you guys could do with the appraisal?
For us in our area, if they don't have the money and the seller is not willing to come down on it, they have the option to walk away.
Yep, you could walk away and definitely you could challenge it. But a lot of the times these appraisers, their heads are kind of
Yep.
and nope, it's right. But you can challenge it. So you can challenge it. We said see if the seller will reduce the price and you want to pay out of pocket or just walk away. That's it. But this is our Friday the 13th edition, so these are some things that could happen. All right. So another thing that I have written down is not enough closing costs, or not enough money for closing costs. You go all the way to closing day, you get there, you're excited, you've gotten your clear to close, and then boom, you have this amount that you should already known about in the beginning. So, to the lenders and to actually any of y'all, what are some things that we should do to avoid this from happening?
Check over your loan estimate would be one of them.
Yes. And when do they get that?
Within 3 days of putting in the contract.
As soon as you go in the contract, right?
That would be one. Um, you would
Uh,
have another opportunity at the this last final disclosures go out 3 days before closing as well. So that's the time you
Exactly.
should check over that. But as from what I've seen, like if you do have friends or family members, if something does come up an emergency, I would ask in the beginning, hey, I might need some money. If they want to gift it to you, that's always an option. To get a little gift, even if it's not significant. 401ks, just in case you need it, because they're all estimates because the final disclosure doesn't come out until they know exactly when taxes are due and stuff like that. So you may want to just have a little bit more wiggle room. Nicole over there looks like she's a planner, so she probably do tell her clients to have a little bit more than what they expect on the estimate.
yes, and I'm also like, I'm a little bit of a stalker when it comes to the lenders. I'm on you guys like every single day. Anything change? Anything? What do they need? Anything extra? Did anything change? It could be to $5. I need to know. We like I'm holding hands with everybody, so I overly communicate.
And
Good.
I would say, what I do is when my clients submit the offer and they going under contract, I give them an estimated sheet for what their closing cost is going to be. So they have an estimate idea of what is going to cost for the closing table, with them how much money they need to bring. So they should really, have that information.
Definitely, definitely. So that's that time, especially when you go into contract your lender, they're giving you that number, and I say make sure you ask questions. If you see something on here that's not making sense, let me know, etc. But this is when you ask questions. You have about 45 days to close on the property, so you have about 45 days to get all of your closing costs together. Do not wait until 3 days before closing. Once you get the clear to close, to try to figure out where you're going to get that money from. All right, here goes another one that everybody thinks that will never, ever, 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 ever happen. The seller decides not to sell. Friday the 13th edition. You go. It's closing day. You ready to close, and the seller changed their mind. Their job didn't go through. Their transfer didn't go through. They can't find them a house. They feel like they're homeless, and they've decided not to sell. Anybody ever had that happen before?
Yes.
So what happened, girl?
So I'm representing the buyer, and the seller decided they did not want to sell. I hope my phone is saying it's hot, so I hope it doesn't shut you guys off. But
Okay.
they didn't want to sell, and so we're under contract, and
Hmm.
a legal contract. So it was like, okay, you signed this contract, you are selling your house. And so my client at the time, he could have forced it, actually went to the, go to the closing table, sit there. And if they don't show up and sign the paperwork, then they're in breach and default. And then it could come into a legal thing. So he just decided, like, just let them out of it, because he didn't want to force anybody to sell their home, because legally that's what it boiled down to for us.
Exactly. And that's what I have here, a list of things that can happen with the seller. They could basically, not allow the inspector inside their home. They are not cooperating at all. They just doing all kinds of stuff to kind of hold up the process because they don't want to sell and they are having second thoughts. So that's definitely a good one. All right, so let's talk about this one. The buyer did not get the clear to close. So you've done all this. It's been 45 days and you did not get the clear to close. What are some reasons why a buyer will not get a clear to close?
Typically, some things in your bank, like um, transaction history, I guess you can say,
Mhm.
like if you have large transactions or large deposits that you may have to explain,
Mhm.
um, the money's issued, like not having enough, or when they finally get the homeowner's insurance, it may be a little bit more, which throws you a little bit over. I've had
They,
that happen to me once or twice.
Yeah, this is that thing that we talk about. Nikki, you look like you had something to say, so I'll let you go first. Go
oh,
on.
I said they bought a car or
That
something.
There we go. You decided to go buy a car. You decided to go buy some furniture. You decided to go do all kinds of stuff right before closing, stuff that we asked you guys not to do. Don't go swiping that credit card. Don't go buy a car. Don't go get a furniture. I don't care if it says 0% interest, all cash, whatever it says. It's still credit, and you're putting it on your credit, and you are affecting your debt to income ratio and that furniture, and you will not have anywhere to stay. You may be sleeping in your car with that furniture, or maybe in the back of the U-Haul, but you don't want to do that. It's Friday the 13th, y'all. We're talking about everything that could go wrong in a real estate transaction.
Or a cavers where like you owe the government or owe an entity that came up randomly, like they do. We do checks every now and then, and that'll come up. It's like, oh man, I didn't know that existed, and bam, it's there. Um,
Lying on your app, lying would definitely get yourself in some. It's gonna come up, y'all, and that's what underwriting does. And a lot of people have to explain that to them what exactly what underwriting is. Okay, cool. The lender is going off of what you told them. They verify this stuff that you have. Blah 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 blah. Underwriting, they're digging a little bit deeper, and anything that they have asked you about before those lies, they're gonna come to light. So be honest. Be honest, be honest, be honest. All right. So, and then this is one that a lot of people don't realize. Everybody want to know why we have a final walkthrough, or they choose not to do a final walkthrough, and all this other stuff. We do a final walkthrough. Why? Because we want to make sure that the property's still there. The property's in the same condition it was in when you got it. The property did not flood, and the property is not on fire or didn't catch on fire. That's why you do the final walkthrough. But those are some things that could happen before you close on the property. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add to that?
no,
No?
Nope.
All right. So let me tell you some things that could happen to the property. The county, they will not approve your septic system. Takia's back, but I don't see her. I think she's trying to come back, but she's white at the bottom. I don't see her. So
her
I give her
phone
a
was
chance to
getting
come back
hot.
on.
She said,
All right, so the county will not approve your septic or your well for the property. A termite report, that's one big thing. The termite report may have substantial damage, and the seller is not willing to fix it. The home could be misrepresented. The home is destroyed prior to closing. The home is not structured with sound. The home is uninsurable. A lot of people don't understand that. The property is incorrectly zoned, and a portion of the home sits on the neighbor's property, which is called an encroachment. Unique home and comparables for the property for the appraisal is difficult to find, and that's one of the situations that Samantha ran into, and I've ran into with my clients as well. The property is in a rural area, and we have to find comps. The agents, have to find comps to um make sure that the property is at its value that we said it was in. So y'all don't have anything else that could possibly happen whenever a client buys a home. Got any stories?
that's mainly, you know, the appraisal part has been a bit of a challenge for me. Even with
Mm-hmm.
the new builds, they're taking time. There's not as much people, so the appraisal comes out. They thought it was done, and then boom, it's not done, and then you got to do another one and another one. I've had one client who did 3 or 4 appraisals on a brand new build, and he was frustrated because it kept delaying because it takes time to get another appraisal back out or another person. So I have to say a lot of it has to do with the property itself and appraisals.
Yeah, with the new build, my client, they decided because like you said, things could happen. So once they put the drywall up and all the other stuff, and the appraiser went out, and then they decided to pay like another portion. So once they finished everything, and the property looked the way it was, the appraiser can come out very quickly to do like a second appraisal, quick inspection, just to make sure that everything is there, and they could be in and out because it does get frustrating in this market when it comes to finding an appraiser. All
Right.
right, y'all got anything else y'all want to add?
No, Nicole.
All
No,
right, y'all.
nothing.
So if y'all want a list of these things that could possibly happen, and again, we call it turbulence in real estate. Some things could happen. It could happen with the buyer, the borrower, the realtor, the seller, the lenders, the property itself, the closing attorney or the escrow or title company, the appraiser or the inspector. Different things could happen that could cause you not to close on the property. But again, these things don't always happen. So whenever you're shopping, we don't want you guys to get discouraged. But there are a ton of things that could happen. And sometimes we can do all we can to help the process and to avoid it, but sometimes some things are unavoidable. All right.
Right.
Anything else?
Unavoidable things. I do agree. Like people think it's just I put an offer on a home, I'm gonna buy it, boom, everything. Some people it works for them, but a lot of people it's not boom, bam, 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 bam. And I think a
Right.
lot of people have that impression. It's gonna be boom, boom. I turned this in, I turned this in, I did everything on my part. Now why are we waiting? Um,
And a lot of people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. Like sometimes, as the agent, we could be doing stuff, we're ordering stuff, we're trying to get stuff, we're answering questions, and we're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. The lenders, y'all are doing a lot behind the scenes. Y'all have y'all underwriters that's doing things behind the scenes. So those 45 days, they're there for a reason. So it's a lot that kind of goes on, and every once in a while we'll kind of, hey, Mr. Seller, hey, Mr. Buyer, this is what's going on, blah 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 blah. Nothing else. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Home Buyers Clubhouse. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I am a triangle realtor with A to Z Realty. Miss Samantha.
Sorry, woo, it came out of nowhere. I am Samantha Harding. I am a loan officer with Mortgage Solutions. You can reach me at 919-374-0260.
And Nicole, Nikki, whoever you are
Yes,
today.
Nikki, better known as Nicole Wright. I am a Charlotte realtor with EXP, and you can reach out to me here at the clubhouse, or you can reach out to me at the Right Realtor on Facebook.
You guys, you can reach all of us at the clubhouse at www.thehomebuyersclubhouse.com. You can find us on YouTube at the Homebuyers Clubhouse. You can find us on Facebook in our private group and on our page at at Homebuyers Clubhouse. And you guys, we hope you have an awesome weekend. Y'all be safe. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys were struggling over there, y'all. We need some subscribers. I actually need the people in our group to subscribe, but I'm not gonna put them on blast. But yeah, we need some subscribers over there in the YouTube world. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe so you guys can receive notifications. We hope you guys have a safe weekend and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye
Okay. Bye.
Bye
bye.
bye.